So bear with me here, people. So I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm watching reruns of live PD. That's as exciting as my life gets. And I'm thinking to myself about my videos I make about call centers. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've been too harsh on call centers, and maybe I've been too harsh on the people that work in call centers. You know what I mean? Maybe I've crossed the line. And I started thinking to myself, maybe these are good places. Maybe they're good places for certain types of people. Stay tuned.
At the tone, press 1 for murder.
Oh my God, the people I've sat next to in these call centers. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't take it. Even thinking about it is painful. I'm a survivor, man.
Before I get started tonight, I wanted to tell you about my new book, all of you call center survivors. It's called Press 1 for Murder. And this is a murder mystery book I wrote, influenced by my time working in call centers. And it's for sale right this very moment as we speak on Amazon in both ebook and paperback. So just don't tell me you can't buy it because you don't have the ebook reader that Amazon wants you to have. You can order a paperback for, I think it's $6.60. People say to me, why are you charging so much for the paperback? Because it cost me like $4 to get the paperback printed. And I've got to mark it up to make a profit off of it. Yes, I'm somewhat of a capitalist. I'm sorry, I don't like to call myself that, but I got to pay the bills, you know what I mean? And if I can't sell my books, I might as well start turning tricks, you know what I'm saying?
I'm thinking about it. You know, I go into these call centers, and I'm college educated. I got my degree from Ohio University in communications. And, you know, I've got this attitude. I've always had an attitude about myself, as most people do that have degrees. Like, you walk into a call center, you got this degree, I've got lots of corporate experience, and you're thinking, I'm better than this shit in here, you know? Oh, I said the word shit, didn't I? Sorry, there's YouTube censors. I'm sure the YouTube KGB will be at my front door pretty soon. Mr. Tompkins, we understand that you've been saying naughty words on the television on YouTube. You can't do that, sir. We're going to have to put you in the gulag for 17 days straight. Then you got to rub Putin's feet. And see what happens when you have a degree. You kind of walk into a call center, kind of strut your stuff, you know, you kind of walk and going, I got a degree, and you're kind of like, hey man, look at me, I'm smarter than all these folks. I got my shit figured out. But in the back of your mind, you're going, if you got your shit figured out, what are you doing working in a stinky call center? But what happens when you walk in and you have an attitude, the college educated attitude, the college boy attitude, if you walk in a little bit too nicely dressed, or you have a tie on, or you have nice dockers, or your outfit actually matches, people automatically know you're a college boy, and they start judging you right away, and they start looking for reasons to get rid of you, because they know that you're smarter than probably 3/4 of the staff that works in management or in a director level, and they're very intimidated by it, and they're very threatened by it. So that you come in, you're like, hey everybody, look at me, I got me a degree. And I'm going to take your job. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to do it better than you can do because I got a degree. But that's not really how it works. Just because you got a degree doesn't mean you know how to manage people. And I think a lot of these people that are in management and at director level and above get threatened by the college person working in a call center because they came in, they worked the phones, they got promoted to manager, or to assistant manager, to departmental manager, and then to director, and they haven't seen a college textbook ever. And the only time they ever saw a college textbook was when they went to see their friend in college, and the bong was sitting on it, and there was a ring of bong water underneath it, and they never picked it up or read it because they weren't going to school. They were there to get high with their friend who was paying to go to college. So you walk in with your degree attitude. Hey, I got a degree attitude. Hey, everybody. How you doing there, friend? I got a degree. How about you? You don't? You barely made it out of high school? I'm going to have your job soon. But that doesn't happen because they hire you for some reason. They know you're overqualified. They know you're too smart for the position, but they need bodies for the position, so they throw you in there with the wolves. these undereducated slobs that, like for instance, there was this one lady I worked with who was so fat that all she could wear was sweatpants. I guess. I don't know. I guess she was too poor to have custom-made obesity pants or something. So I find out that my supervisor is racist and that he had intentionally went out of his way to get a young African-American lady fired. And I was furious. I was upset about it. And then this lady I'm speaking of, the heavyset lady, was white, and her husband was black. And I'm like, hey, Sally, did you hear what happened with so-and-so and so-and-so? So-and-so got so-and-so fired because she was African-American. She looked at me, she went, huh? How do you know that? I said, well, he told me. The supervisor told me this. He told me that because he thought I was cut from the same cloth because we were from a similar town. But I wasn't. I'm not. So anyway, I go, aren't you upset? She goes, huh? Why would I be upset? Well, I said, isn't your husband black? She went, uh-huh. And your coworker, who's African American, got fired because she's black. Huh. She just looked at me like I just let a mouse loose in her brain and she was trying to follow it. I mean, there's just some, oh my God, the people I've sat next to in these call centers. Oh my God, I can't take it. Even thinking about it is painful. But you walk in and I walk in and I think I'm an intelligent individual. I have a certain amount of intelligence. In certain areas, I have an overabundance of intelligence. In other areas, I'm lacking. And it's kind of an inside joke. So you walk in these call centers and you're surrounded by these people that are basically mouth breathers. You're like, hey, sir, can I take a call? Can I start taking calls today? I love working here, This is a lot better than Burger King. And I think that's right. I think there's certain people that this is the ideal job for because they don't have degrees. They may not even have, well, I think you have to have a high school diploma to work in a call center. But there's a lot of people that are undereducated, inexperienced, that without the education, they would never have a chance to make it, to get promoted, to make the kind of money they could make in a call center, other than working at Target or Walmart or Burger King or something. So there's certain kinds of people, the mouth-breathing type, that enjoy this environment because they look at it as getting ahead. This is their big chance to make it in the world. This is their chance to show the world that there's somebody. Look at me, Dad. I scored the touchdown on Friday night when the team agreed to let me have the ball and roll my wheelchair across the goal line. Ho. There's those kinds of people that work in there. And I'm not really making fun of handicapped people, but as I said in another video, a lot of the people who become supervisors in a call center, it's when you give them the title supervisor, it's the same as giving the physically challenged young man the football on Friday night and allow him to run with the ball and score a touchdown. He doesn't know that he's not really in the game, and that the touchdown doesn't really mean anything. And it's the same with the people in the call centers. There's a certain breed of call center employee that gravitates to the call center, that they become successful because this is their environment. This is where they thrive. This is where they're good. This is where they feel good about themselves. There's very few people that stay long, but the ones that stay a long amount of time are the ones who, this is all they got. This is the only place they fit in. And I have to think that maybe I've been too harsh. I mean, there are some people there that enjoy call center life. They enjoy the money. They think it's good money. They don't know any better. They don't know that there's a life out there where you can start a job making $60,000 a year at an entry-level position. They don't know. And they'll never know because they don't have a degree or they don't have any corporate experience. But this is really a perfect job, not just for mentally and physically challenged individuals, but it's also good for young people in high school, in college, people who are in between jobs. But as I've said before, it's a pretty dismal. It's not pretty. It's a dismal job. But if you don't know any better, you think you've really made it. You're like, wow, man, I get to sit at a little tiny desk with a Plantronic headset on my head and take calls from people. Oh, and Mr. Fleetemeister is so funny with his Oingo Boingo. Oh, he's so funny. I love it when I go into his class. And there are people that, they go to high school together, they graduate, and they all get like 3 or 4 of them will get a job at the local call centers because they all know each other. And then they hang out in the break room and they smoke cigarettes out the back and they get high in their cars and stuff. But maybe I've been too harsh. I mean, there are some people out there that really like the job. They really enjoy the environment. I don't know. You tell me. Maybe I'm second guessing myself now. I know it's not a job for me. It's definitely not a job for me. This is something that, I tried and tried and tried. I mean, I kept going to other call centers. This is how crazy and mentally deficient I am. I'd go to one call center, it'd be horrible. And it was in banking. And then I'd go to another call center in banking. I think it would be better because they promised me something different or paid me $1 an hour or more. But it would be just as bad as the last call center. So I'd switch industries and I'd go into I worked at this one call center that was for lawnmowers and tractor equipment. And I thought, well, this has got to be a good place, man. I mean, the way they talk about it's such a great place, and it was awful. So I left there and I went to a cable company. Major cable company. Big. One of the big guys. Oh, this place was horrid. So I quit there, and then I went back into banking, and that was bad. I keep going into banking, thinking banking. It's banking, it's got to be organized and logical because you're dealing with people's money. No. You'd be surprised what goes on in a bank and how illogical and weird it is. And where else have I worked? Fundraising was okay. I do best in the call centers where I've had the most success. I've been in sales and outbound sales, or where somebody already has an interest in the product. I've done pretty well at that. Those are pretty good jobs in the call center, but it's still not great. But I've done banking, fundraising, magazine sales, long distance sales. I sold a product for Sprint, which used to be a long distance company. I used to sell a 10-cent a minute long distance program in the early 1990s called The Most. And my supervisor's name was Sharon. And Sharon was this real tall, skinny black girl with big giant glasses. She had these giant lenses that people wore in the 90s or the 80s. And anytime you got a sale, she'd run over and she'd ring a bell. She'd go, "Woo, way to go, Pete! Way to go! Woo, you got a sale!" And it was like, oh my gosh, Sharon, shut up, Where else have I worked? But they're all the same. And I'm trying to figure out, there's really none that are good. I mean, I'm trying to think what I haven't done. I worked in insurance for about 4 months with Progressive Insurance. That was horrible. This is long before Flo was their mascot, or whatever you call her. That ugly woman they roll out every 30 seconds on TV. I can't stand Flo. Oh my God. And you know darn well, the people that work at Progressive right now, they probably have big heads of Flo all over the walls, and they have probably giant cardboard cutouts, life-size cutouts of the woman with her big greasy lips, and they're just, ugh. Can you imagine waking up next to that lady? Oh. I'd rather wake up next to the Geico lizard. Really, I would. He's probably more exciting in bed. Ringo Starr, peace and love. So, I've done insurance, tractors, lawnmowers, magazines, long distance, telecommunications, cable. Jeez. They're all the same. They're all dismal. And the people that really seem to enjoy them are the younger people. And the reason I kept going back to these jobs was I kept thinking, well, maybe one's got to be better. There's got to be one out there that's just a little bit better than the other ones. And none of them. I had an okay time at Wells Fargo because it was sales. I had an okay time, again, in sales, selling, raising funds for the Cleveland Orchestra. That was an okay call center job. I've worked in the storage business too, selling storage lockers out in Arizona. So, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're all bad? Do you think there's a place for certain people. Like, I don't belong in there. I don't belong in a call center. And my primary reason I don't fit in a call center is I think too much. I'm a thinker. I can think outside the box. I can look at somebody and go, well, this doesn't make sense. You just docked me for this, and this in the call. And I'll say to the people, I'm like, but how did you find that call? How did you, out of the 1,000 calls I did this week, how did you happen to find that one call that I screwed up on? They're like, oh no, he figured it out. We're pigeonholing him. We're blackballing him. Oh no, he knows. We better have him. We better suicide him. Like the Clintons do to everybody. So let me know what you think. Do you think they're a good place for certain people? There's certain people at a certain intelligence level and a certain lack of confidence, self-confidence, and esteem that fit in there because they don't know any better, and I think they feel at home. I think a lot of people that really work well there came from dysfunctional families. I came from a dysfunctional family, but I somehow managed to have some self-esteem and walk away with some self-esteem out of that situation. Don't know how, but I did. I survived. So I'm a survivor, man. But, yeah, I think there's certain people that they thrive in it. They feed off of it. It's like drinking a cold glass of water. They just love it. So let me know what you think, PTPOP. I'm going to sign off here.
At the tone, press 1 for murder.